meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of the Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very good, thank you, guys. Okay, we're gonna have some visitors tonight, Herb, which is great.
Well, let me go, let's go ahead and do,
So we mentioned,
yeah. Let me go ahead.
the minutes of the previous meeting have been distributed. Are there any corrections to the minutes of the previous meeting or financial reports that you guys have looked at?
Yes, Matt, I'd like to make a motion, please. I move to amend the meeting of the last two meetings to include all the written responses.
Okay,
For all the written responses from public comments and questions.
okay.
You want a
Let's
second?
do a correction like that.
You what?
Should I have a vote for that or
Yeah,
anything?
you'll have to.
Someone
Huh?
has a second that.
Good, Roger, you want a second? Hi there, guys, how are you?
How are you?
Roger, do you second it?
No, Roger will must second that. He wants to amend the meeting notes. Okay. It's been moved and second to amend the meeting notes to add any written responses to any residents that I do not reply to during the meeting, that we will have an amendment to add those into the meeting notes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. Motion is carried.
Now, Matt, now I'll move to approve the minutes of last month's minutes and for the financial report, approve that also.
Okay. Okay. Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes after those amendments and the financial status reports. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. The motion is carried. Very good. Okay, we're gonna, we have some visitors here tonight.
Yeah, now we can
I
do it.
thought we'd go into those guys and we don't have to sit through our wonderful meeting here, but it's great to have people come in. We thank you guys for coming in. I'm kinda, the chairman now, so I gotta give you a little bit of a plan here. This is what we went through so far, minutes, and then we have some business leaders here, so I'd like to bring you guys in first and get that going down the line. But, some people have never been to our meetings, so I was like me, many months ago or years ago, I was like, I didn't know what to do. So, or didn't know what was going on, so. But anyway, we're gonna go through you guys in no particular order, who talks and who has the, especially from the business leaders here. And we'll get Mr. Ballard later at public comment, so. Very good. Yeah, public comments a little bit later in the,
Okay.
but we'll go through a maintenance report, cemetery, any emails, old business, new business, any announcements, public comments, and then adjournment. Well, let's start out with Gary here.
Well,
That'd
we're
be great.
finishing up the third year of our fire EMS contract. I think for all intents and purposes, I think it's going pretty smoothly. In our contract, there was we had an option, the agreement may be terminated. We talked about it could be extended one additional year with written mutual agreement by April 30th of this year. So, we've had some conversations just kind of off the side. Seems like we're ready, we want to move forward.
We'd like to.
So I took the liberty of having the law director draft a one-page amendment to extend 1 year. Just forwarded that to Sandy and Jane a couple weeks ago, and followed up again last week. So we signed it. If you guys are interested in moving forward, all I need is you guys approve it and sign it, and I'll take one copy back. You can have one. And we go on till 26. I would imagine sometime later this year, early next year. There'll have to be some discussions of whether A, you continue, B, how you continue, or something else, I don't know. We just don't know what the future's gonna be. We've had conversations over the years about, I think 2018 was the last concerted effort, if there was, talking about trying to develop some type of a fire district for Goshen, Mechanicsburg, Union, Urbana Township, then whether how Urbana fits into that, or does it, you know, we all had quite a discussion on that back in 18, then things kind of fell apart at the last minute.
Well, we'd like to walk that path again.
I think, I believe it's in everybody's best interest to do that, and I'm not saying anything other than the fact, I'm not, you know, I'm gonna sound cocky, and I'm not trying to do, Urbana's gonna be fine, but
With
we
or without.
decide whether we wanna stay and take care of the growth, or if we wanna stretch ourselves and get out into the townships, and stay in the townships like we are now. It gets a little dicey sometimes, and you've got mutual aid, and you've got ultimate more calls. Staffing is always a challenge with everybody, so I think that's, my opinion, really has to be something that's gotta be discussed pretty seriously.
Well, we'd like to invite you back and,
Well, and I'd be happy to participate as much or as little as possible. You know, I know when we started that discussion, we had, Max Coates. He was retired, or not, he wasn't a commissioner anymore, he was a past commissioner. And I asked him if he would be a facilitator, just so it didn't look like Urbana's trying to run this thing, because it's not about us or anybody running it, it's trying to get the board, get an agreement in place. And then the fire district would create a board, and they would elect the chief. You know, it isn't gonna be, you know, well, it's automatically so-and-so. And the fire district, their board would determine, you know, who the chief's gonna be, and then all the details out of that. So I'm getting way ahead of the conversation today, but I'm just kind of broaching that. I think there has to be some conversation yet this year to get things going.
well, I'll reach out to the aforementioned townships and ask if I think there is some interest in that.
Yeah.
Union, maybe not, but I know Goshen absolutely is interested to talk about that, and maybe Union could come on, maybe Jane could strong arm somebody or somebody, but, you know.
It's more than a one-person job.
Yeah,
Well, I think they're closer now than when I got up 2 years ago to the meeting, but, you know, you was there.
Yeah.
I wasn't too popular, but I think they're closer now, I really do, calling a couple of them.
it has to happen, and
Yeah.
whether they like it or not, this is gonna be a cost that we're can't control on this. There's only gonna be able to do this in numbers, so, anyway. But Karen will ask that.
So if there's an interest, again, if you're willing and able.
Should we make a motion on this and stuff?
Yeah, I think we'll move that.
Then we'll go ahead and move that we extend the fire EMS contract by 1 year. So it'll be the year 2025, and then enter into negotiation later this year for 2026.
This will extend to 26.
Oh, it does?
Through
I-
26.
True.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jean, go ahead.
So it's through, this is an extension that's
Excuse me.
ending this year till ending 2026.
Right.
So it goes through
This
26.
will run you one more year.
I would like that better. Strike that, please, ma'am. So,
Mhm.
I move that we go ahead and extend our fire
Jane,
EMS
you look at that, Jane? when
I
got it?
did, I
Okay.
did.
a fire
I don't know
EMS
if there was a
contract through
place for Kevin to
2026.
sign,
I
but
second that motion.
since he's here.
You have seen it?
It has been moved and seconded to extend the fire contract through 2026. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, the ayes have it.
You start. You don't need to sign our copy, do we, or should we?
Yeah.
Okay. Sign yours.
The blue ink dominates. Right? Anything else? Nothing?
Yeah, you there, went to.
Oh.
Do you have a blue pen?
I don't know, I think I do, and that's from
Start down where?
Mr. Berger, thank you, sir.
Do you need to
No,
sign?
I
Kevin?
went to,
Oh, you got
that's
one.
ours. He's gotta sign it. So. have a
I don't
place.
have my.
Gosh, how handy.
This is a
I know, I said,
black pen.
yeah, that's
You need to
good.
sign
I
it?
said like,
Everybody
well,
like blue pens?
we have a stamp at work, we can
Everybody hear that one
usually
too?
do,
right?
but.
Whatever.
You didn't leave a place for me.
Well,
I
I
know.
don't know if you signed the last one. use the same format we had last time. We'll amend the template.
I thought, how is our 3 years up already?
Okay, it's my fault, I'm sorry about that.
But that means it's going up.
Yeah.
You're dealing with a ding dong here, so. That's me. Not Carrie. I'm arguing about this.
Put your form, then sign it, right?
I know, I have a stamp, but I didn't bring it.
Sorry.
You like to wipe
Do
it
the
through.
approval of the actual minutes.
I hadn't signed it yet.
Okay,
I will.
but
We did.
Was that included?
Did the amendment, then we did the final.
I'll do your
Thank you,
record.
Kevin.
I'll take one back. Thanks, Kevin.
Must have missed.
That's better than a stamp.
We were blending,
Shows it's authentic. I'll tell you what.
we were blending it
Yeah.
very good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be.
Gary, anything else?
Well, I'm not in a hurry, so I'm just gonna step aside and let you watch a little bit more of
Okay.
your operation here.
All right.
Well, this thing, he's a lead in for here,
It
so.
is. I think we got next in line, Kevin, do you want to go?
Sure.
Be great.
Thanks for having me, give me a few minutes to talk with you. I don't know if you knew this or not, but there's gonna be an election here in a couple of weeks.
We've heard that.
So I wanted to come by and get around to all the trustees and talk to them a little bit. I've been your legal counsel now for 12 years, going on the 13th year. Jane and I talk about you more than you might think. She's the face of my office. She's down here and we do talk on everything. We look at every contract. I sign off on every contract apparently except the last one.
Well, we don't know, won't hurt us, so.
But I've really enjoyed, actually more than you might realize, doing some of the work and talking to Jane about some of the issues you guys deal with, whether it's road work contracts or issues that come up with a ditch or cemetery or a fence line or noxious weeds, all sorts of interesting things. I love it because you guys actually get into the weeds a little bit and solve community problems, and I really enjoy doing that. Most people think of the prosecutor as the guy who handles felony prosecution and is in the courtroom dealing with criminal issues, and that is primarily what I do that the public sees. I moved to Champaign County, about 27 years ago. Married, I think most of you have met my wife, and some of you have met my kids. I have 3 girls who've gone to Urbana High School. They're all born and raised in Champaign County, and my last one graduates here next month. I love this community, and when I found out that Judge Weithman was going to be stepping down back in December, I went and talked to him about it, and when he confirmed that he was stepping down, these opportunities don't come around very often. I talked about it with my family, talked about it with my office, and decided to make the decision to pursue this opportunity. I'm very excited about the opportunity to serve the community in a different way. I've been very much involved in public service since I moved here in 1998. I started working for Judge Salvaggio back in '98. He was the county prosecutor back then. I came in as his assistant, worked for him for 3 years. I spent 10 years in the private sector, always working primarily and operating a business and employing folks here in Champaign County and in the city of Urbana primarily. And then when Prosecutor Salvaggio decided to pursue retiring Judge Wilson's spot, I leaped at the opportunity to get back to my roots and where it all started. And it's been a whirlwind. For the last 12 years, we dealt with some really tough times. I've been talking to people about some of those tough times. We dealt with an opioid epidemic. We dealt with the pandemic and continued to operate. Prosecuted 6 homicide cases in 12 years here in Champaign County, 6 murder cases, 3 attempted murder cases. and a school shooting, the worst day in my professional career, dealing with that school shooting. And through it all, I'm very proud of our record at the prosecutor's office. I feel that we've demonstrated, I've demonstrated excellent leadership of the prosecutor's office during that time. We've successfully handled, I think, well over 300 appeals in my time there, countless felony sexual assaults, and just dealt with folks in some really difficult times. I very much value the support I've gotten from the community as prosecutor, and I really think I have something to offer the municipal court and the community as a municipal court judge. I can tap into my experience as prosecutor and also in the private sector to move forward and be efficient. I think if you ask most county officials, they'll tell you, ask the county commissioners, ask the folks I've dealt with, I live within my budget. I'm a team player, and I will continue that attitude as municipal court judge. Many people have asked me as I've been going around, and we're getting closer to the election, folks have asked me about Greg and what do I have to, I've got nothing bad to say about Greg Harvey. He's a nice young man, he has a lovely family, and he has a bright future ahead of him. I think when I moved here 27 years ago, I think Greg was 10 years old at the time. Greg has a future, and if he wants to be the judge, there's no doubt in my mind he's going to be a judge. The existing judges are aging out, and you can't run for judge after you're 70. I'm 54 years old. I think Greg's 37. I am very well seasoned, so to speak. And I have a lot I can offer this community. We only have 4 judges in this county, and they are responsible for making the most important decisions in folks' lives. And I really think it's important that whoever you choose to put in that office, you put someone in there that you think is going to have the right work ethic. I'm not going over there to retire. I'm going over there to work hard and serve the community. And someone who has the experience. And I don't just have experience in terms of 27 years of professional experience. I have 54 years of life experience that I'm bringing to the table, having raised a family, 3 girls who are now grown, and I think I bring both types of experience to the bench, and I hope that you'll consider supporting me May 6th. I am happy to answer any questions you guys have. I also have the standard little card that I've been bringing and handing out. On the back, it talks a little bit about some of the groups I've been involved with and some of the positions I've held over the last 27 years. I'd just like to hand that out to all of you. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions for me? It's okay if you don't.
Nope.
But I always like feedback. I love having.
No, are you ready for this to be over?
The election, yeah. Well, you know, it's always tough. I tell you, you run around and you got pancake breakfasts and fish fries and the like, and you know, people ask about that, and but I tell you, the hardest part about it is my first obligation. There's a few events I actually missed a couple of fish fries here or there, or pancake breakfast or something. But people forget that sometimes I think when they see that I'm running for office, that my first obligation has to be the office I currently hold. I mean, I took an oath to handle the prosecutor's office, so I have a first primary duty to represent you folks, but also to victims of crime. I had a rape case in February. I missed a couple of events while I was preparing that case for trial and sentencing. But my first obligation has to be to that case and to that victim. And I always put my role in that oath that I took ahead of everything. And so, yeah, it'll be nice when I can put the election behind me. I'll live with the results, whatever they are, and I'll continue to serve the community as best I can in whatever role the community decides they want me to continue on at. But I'm hopeful that, you know, at this stage in my career, after 27 years, I think I've earned the opportunity to serve in a different capacity. I really like the opportunity to show you I can make a difference in municipal court. It was a long-winded answer.
That's good.
I should have just said yes, right?
No,
Something
that's okay.
I want to say one thing. I wish she wasn't sitting here.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm going to say
You gotta
something.
say
No,
that.
because I can't tell you how valuable she is to us. And you know, with you and me, getting back to this the way you do, I mean, this style can bite sometimes. I mean, especially when you don't have the right information or things like that. And she's always been open to hearing what we complain about and say. So thank you for letting her have her little office down there.
Well,
And that's kind of open door. We can walk in and wander. So
Really appreciate that. Early on when I took office, I decided to place Jane, shortly after, I don't know, was it the first or second year, Jane, that we moved you down to the community building?
Yeah, it was really shortly after I was there, like part-time. That was kind of crazy, because I didn't know where I was at that point.
So I talked to the commissioners about putting Jane down in the community center because I wanted to get her closer to the folks that she primarily represents on behalf of our
Yeah,
office and to
agreed.
make her more accessible in that regard. But Jane, I've got a great team at my office, and the reason I'm so proud of my record is because I've stood proudly on their shoulders. I have to say, I
That's
have
well
great
said.
people at my office, and they've held me up quite well. And Jane is you know, the civil side of things and representing you folks is really the backbone of county work. But in terms of what the public sees in the newspaper and what gets the headlines, it's the sexual assaults and it's the violent crime. But really, the day-to-day, what really makes the wheels of this community turn is the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. And we're dealing with quite a bit of it right now. And I do get involved in a good bit of litigation on behalf of the trustees. And knock on wood, we haven't had a whole lot going on here. But I've been involved in Old Souls Farms,
Yeah, we're getting
on
there.
behalf of Mad River. We've been involved in a solar field up in Rush Township. I've been very much involved in both of those, and as has Jane. Thank you. I think Jane really appreciates it, and I think it's great that she's here and got to hear you say
well,
it.
seriously, I won't try to blow wind up her skirt either. I mean, we really do appreciate her. And we appreciate you too. I mean, honest.
Well,
You
thank you.
guys makes this job tolerable because we're lost, or at least I'm lost. He might be the smart one here. That scares us too. But he's forgotten more than we'll ever know.
That's so true.
But we need you guys, and that we really do.
Well,
So-
you know, regardless of what happens on May 6th, I've told folks, you know, don't be hesitant to reach out to me. I'm easy to get a hold of. I will respond right away. I believe you all should have my emails, and you know my phone number down there at the county office. And yeah, Jane's there for you so that you get someone who's got immediate response and who comes to your meetings and who's able to assist you with whatever the project or issue is. But you also have me as a resource as well. So if Jane's on vacation, or if she's down, or if she's just overwhelmed with other projects that she has going on. I mean, people forget we're the county's law firm. We
I know.
represent everybody,
Mhm.
all the county office holders. You know, I just want to make sure you know you can always reach out to me as well. And I'd be happy to help you. I enjoy those phone calls for the reasons I said earlier. It
Yeah.
gives me something else, something new to look at, something different, and something where I can actually help people sometimes solve some problems that matter to people.
we wish you luck. I really do.
Yeah.
I hope you.
Well, thank you
Appreciate
very
you
much.
taking time to come out here.
Well, I appreciate it. I think we, last two things I'll tell you, I'll take off my candidate hat and put on my prosecutor's levy hat. If you haven't heard already, we are doing some different things with zoning. We're gonna be doing a training in conjunction with LUC sometime, I think this summer. I don't know that we have a date yet on that.
Right, on the nuisance.
Yes.
the nuisance.
And we're gonna
Need
talk
that.
to you about some of the projects that we're doing. You know, one of the things I've been talking to folks about is some frustration they have with particular properties that have been thorns in their sides with regards to zoning violations. And the municipal court, some of the feedback I've gotten is that the municipal court has not been very attentive to the concerns that have been brought before them on some of the zoning issues. And there's been some frustration from zoning officers and trustees. I've talked to most recently Mad River Township, but I've talked to everybody, but most recently Mad River Township about there are other tools in the tool chest to address some of these zoning problems, and nuisance is one of them. And in fact, we're pursuing a I should say Mad River is pursuing a nuisance claim against one particular property owner, and they're gonna get that property cleaned up. It's gonna require the township to expend some funds to clean up the property. But that particular property, just as an example, the owner of the property has, is current on their taxes. The auditor has the property assessed at approximately $451,000. They've been getting countless complaints over the last, they tell me, several years. And we're gonna be able to clean that property up in a matter of a few months. And it'll probably cost them, I'm estimating, between $10,000 to $15,000, which will get added onto their taxes, and they'll eventually get paid back that money. And they're gonna solve a lot of problems in the community. We're also working on a project. We have a little more refining to do with it, but you're gonna be hearing from us in the next few weeks about a process we can go through to get rid of junk cars on properties and have those cars towed. So if you've gotten complaints about folks who've violated zoning as a result of having those cars on the property, working with the sheriff's office to try to put a process in place to enable you and the zoning officer to address some of those issues and get those cars towed off the property. Sort of trying to pick the low-hanging fruit. We might not be able to solve every problem with the property, but if you have a house that's got 20 cars, some of them just rusted out sitting there, and they've been sitting there for, in some cases, years. There are some things we can do, I think, and we're going to try to be a little more aggressive in helping the trustees out in that.
Well, we appreciate you coming, and kind of ditto what Blair said about Jane. I can't say any more because she's been very good. And probably a couple of times I broke in on her, and I probably didn't, she probably didn't really want me to show up, but, she was very helpful, and I just want to add that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the feedback. I'll make sure, Jane, it's a cup of coffee at least tomorrow.
I did say to Carrie, I'm gonna ask for a raise tomorrow, Carrie.
Well, again, going back to the cars, we've been dealing this last 2 weeks with Clearwater down on Muzzy Road about, I got a whole list of things that drop in on Jane, and she'll hate seeing this, but, so thank you for addressing that.
So what I've told the other trustees that I've been meeting with, as we've talked about some zoning issues, let's take a small bite of the apple.
Okay.
So pick your top 3 problems. Give me those properties and try to identify clearly what the problem is for each property. And then let me see if I can solve the problem, and then we can move on to the next one.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah, so identify the address, the name of the owner if you know it, but the address is fine. And then specifically what the issue is and what the zoning issues are. And if you need your zoning officer to write us a letter or just shoot us an informal email identifying the specific issues, then we can do some research and figure out what we can do in conjunction with some of the other departments, the health department, building regs, Rob and Edwards, see if they're delinquent on taxes. I mean, there's some options. We can come back to you and say, hey, here's some ways, here's some ideas on how we can address this particular issue.
That's great. Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
I know you guys got more business to do, but
Yeah, thank you very much.
thank you very much. And I think Jane has a foreclosure,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, we have-
Yeah, I thought I'll add on to that. I'm not just here to
Okay.
hold his briefcase. So, I thought there would be more people here, to talk about Dunleavy's property on the Edgewood hearing. And so we are gonna, get a default judgment, hopefully on May 6th, along with a number of other properties. So, one of the things I was gonna say to the people, if they were interested in that property, is really once we file that foreclosure, then we don't want you to, come in and clean it and add to the taxes as an assessment, because we've already told the court, here's the assessment we have, and it does affect whether it gets sold at sheriff's sale and everyone gets paid back, or if it goes to auditor's sale and maybe no one gets paid back. It could be sold for $50 minimum. So, we hope that a new person, if they're buying it either place, is going to come in and clean it up. So
But May 6th is the default judgment, correct?
that's the default judgment hearing date. We
Hearing.
have a number of hearings that day on all the foreclosures that we filed recently. And so then after that, so I'm thinking, we're looking at, a sale probably the end of June on that property, if all goes well. We usually need about 6 weeks to get a sale in, so even if we do it on May 7th, we're probably looking at somewhere after the 21st of June. We already have a sale date that we're looking at for other properties that have already gone through the default judgment for the end of May. So we try to do those so that in the spring and summer, and sometimes in the fall, we get those done. We don't do too many in the winter. So.
Very good.
And nothing on,
And I do have to tell you that at least for tax sales, can't be delinquent on your taxes if you're going to be,
Buying.
bidding. So if you're buying, so if somebody here is, is wanting to bid on it, you need to get your property taxes paid, so.
okay, that's important.
Yeah, so I understand it's kind of hard when people come to you, but really, once the treasurer says, we have delinquent taxes, and we're gonna take the foreclosure, we really want you not to do that, to go clean it up. Different than what Kevin talked to you about when you have something that is a significant value. I don't think that subject property has significant value. I think if we get it sold for taxes and costs, we will be lucky.
Yeah.
So.
And the example I gave, that property owner's current in their taxes,
Yeah,
so there's
yeah.
Yeah, this one isn't, right, yeah. We appreciate that.
I mean, if somebody came in and paid the taxes, then I'd say, well, then, if they're not gonna make an agreement with you that they're gonna clean it up, then yeah, you could go forward and do that, cause at least the treasurer is out then, at that point in time.
Am I allowed to share this information?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep, it's public record.
okay, I'm just,
Very good. Roger Blair, anything else? I just want to wish Kevin best of luck from behalf of the township.
Thank you very
And,
much. I genuinely appreciate you guys taking time out of your schedule to let me talk to you for a few minutes. I
Yeah,
appreciate
no,
it.
we appreciate you coming here and giving us an update and all that's great to hear.
Thank you.
And Jane too, obviously, we love to hear that stuff too, so we're moving along on some properties.
Yeah.
Anything else, fellas?
By the way, we thought there was gonna be a lot of people here tonight too, I don't know why there isn't, but usually,
They must have heard I was coming.
Yeah.
well, either you or maybe Carrie. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Yeah, I'm
maybe
gonna
Carrie,
blame Carrie, that's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I saw a couple off the side of the road.
Yep. Yep, you're welcome to take off. Thank you guys.
Thank you, guys.
We'll finish our business.
See you guys.
Have a good night.
you what?
Do we need her?
Hey, Jane,
That was the thing that.
should we sign this thing about Rich? We thought he'd be here tonight, about breaking the enterprise in.
That's right, you didn't.
Yeah, I thought maybe he'd be here.
We thought,
Well.
that's why his name's up there, we thought he'd be here too.
Oh, yeah, I think this is fine, cause they're not, they want out, so there's not, it's really kind of pro forma to do that, cause they're wanting out.
So we go ahead and make a motion to break the enterprise agreement?
Yep.
That's all we have to really say?
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
Okay, you can do that.
So they're not doing anything else, I guess, with CRSI.
Man, look how much double duty we got out of you guys.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
God,
so-
focus.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, guys.
So that would be, resolution 2025-003W.
2025 what?
2025-003W.
Okay. I can do that, I'll ask for
Yep,
Motion.
I'm gonna go ahead and move that we terminate the enterprise zone that was going to be pursuant for Vancrest. Resolution number,
2025-003-W.
that one.
Let me get a second.
I second that.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to
Terminate.
terminate resolution 2025-003-W. And all in favor say aye.
I,
Okay, the ayes have it. The motion is carried.
Do you have my pen?
I don't know, is this your pen?
Yeah.
You can have it. I'll just have it.
So, I mean, this was just a draft that he gave me. It doesn't
So,
have,
maybe
it
we'll
says
have to do it again.
Exhibit A, Enterprise Zone Agreement is not attached.
but if he brings in the other one, we could sign it now that we've passed it, correct?
Yes, but I have to make a copy. This is the copy that is attached to last month's minutes.
Okay.
So what he said he was going to do was send it to Jane, he was gonna email it to her, have her look at it, and then I thought he was coming back with an original document for you guys to sign.
Okay.
We did too.
Let's get busy.
Sorry, dude.
No, for what?
Just- Cause I could be home, I could be mowing my yard.
Me?
Yeah,
It's raining now.
How'd you know I was gonna do that tonight?
I know your wife.
Hey, buddy, maybe you can update us on what that cul-de-sac looks like.
Actually, that's the only
Okay,
comment
good.
I have.
Okay, if you want to do
Hold
a
on.
public comment, then we'll see.
Yeah, we'll wait.
However,
Okay.
however we do this, it says the enterprise agreement is here to attached as Exhibit A, so I just wanna make sure, I don't know who's getting Exhibit A, but as you can see, Exhibit A is blank paper. So that is not good. So I just-
Coming.
So I'm sure the city's gonna want this back. But we're not gonna give them to them without that.
Appreciate your thoroughness. And your, I can just sign it. You want everybody to sign it?
Yes, everybody needs to sign.
With the same blue pen. Oh, you got a blue? You get that back.
Do you want that? To see
You know
what that?
what, this
Same that one.
doesn't even make any sense. Wait, let's wait a second. This says the Board of County Commissioners. This resolution, this part here is for the,
We have to do it.
Commissioners.
Okay.
so, okay, but this, give me that paper back. So that, we're gonna have to print ours on here because what, this is for the commissioners.
Yeah, alright.
So, okay. Let me just go print something for you guys to think that we can put with it, our resolution.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanna move on, you can, but.
Oh, we're just gonna give a road maintenance report.
Yeah, do you need to hear that, Sandy, or?
Well, I've got my phone taping so that I can.
Okay. We'll now hear the road maintenance report. I'm gonna give that on Richard's behalf. Under road maintenance, we did some pothole repairs, and I can have Blair and Roger also embellish anytime they want. He did some equipment prep and maintenance to the mowers, blades, oils, fuel filters. We did a tree and gravel removal of Jadora Island. Did I have that right?
Let's hope you, isn't it?
Ours is Oakview, Jadora's the other one.
Yeah, it's
Oakview.
Oakview.
Okay, sorry, yeah, thank you.
I thought you did them both.
Well, we did, I guess we did, but the tree was,
Yeah,
the
the
tree
tree was
was,
at, Oakview Island.
but we did remove Jadora's.
Yeah, and then we had a bunch of gravel buildup that we manually went and grabbed some of that gravel off there, but we really didn't know the depth of that problem. More on that one. Cold mix application on Dugan Road, North Dugan Road, happened numerous days with all members. And then Richard done some mowing and some cleanup out the cemetery. And then we also did litter removal on many of the roads. And then notable items, just for snow plow, we had 2 snow plows go. One had bad springs on it or broken. They were the retracting springs when you hit something hard in the road. those springs broke, and we didn't notice until very close to the end of the snow season. So we replaced those springs, ordered those parts, and got a repair tool to help us with that. And then we noticed some cracks on the large truck, cracks in the very last bottom plate, maybe due to material or whatever getting underneath it and then cracking, or maybe a bolt was broke loose. Blair helped weld those cracks back together and saved us a little bit of money on that side. So that is the road maintenance report, unless you guys have any more to embellish upon you'd like to. Okay. Any discussions on that, fellas?
The only thing I want to add on the road maintenance is we went through approximately 6+ tons of cold mix for pothole fixing and fixing the berm
Thank you.
breakout. So
That's true.
that was just on Dugan. We're still gonna probably need at least another 4 ton to finish some of the other places. We got some places down on the Dell Drive. Got a couple things on County Line to do. We also have several spots on Cedar Creek, I meant just to name a few.
Okay.
And we still got South Dugan to work on the berm still. So the roads got hit hard this year. That's all I got, man.
Okay, yeah, that's great. I appreciate the input on that. Next we'll move on to zoning and cemetery report. Blair's gonna update us on
And
that.
I'll do this for Sean. Sean had 10 zoning permits that he's written, from homes to decks to fences, lot splits. So he had a busy month. And then we had one funeral.
Kind of rare.
Only one funeral this month. I think it was Saturday
March.
what day was it, Mark? March 8th.
8th, yeah.
March 8th.
It's
Sorry.
been quiet since then.
Yep. And that's all I have on, that's zoning and cemetery.
Okay, very good. We'll move on to the website email report. I'll give you that update. I don't really have anything on the website, but the videos are out there and they're constantly growing a little bit, just a number here and there. We had like 11 people review the videos from this past month, which is pretty good. Normally we're average about 5 or 6 people, but so that was good to know. As far as email reports in our trustees at Urbana Township emails, we had at least 3 or 4 of them, residents asking to fix a pothole on Dugan Road, which we did do that with our cold mix that was old. We heated it up with Blair's blower, and then we had some briarwood issues from a blowhole in a resident's yard that wasn't draining properly to the drain, and then gravel built up into a driveway as well. So that is from the email. Then we have just one recently, again, another gravel complaint out of Briarwood again. So should I give you an update on that? The update on that is we got a hold of county engineers about brush, if we could brush some of that off there, and they realized they never brushed it off after the chip and seal process, after it cured. They never brushed it off. They kind of got too busy and forgot, so that's why we have that excess gravel out on Briarwood. So, and the plan is for that to, for them to get to that in this week or next week. So at least that's what I've updated Mr. Balls. Okay, very good. Any questions, comments on any of this stuff so far?
That's good.
Old business.
I'm gonna have to ask you to sign this up, I'll have to bring it out tomorrow because this is the new computer and that printer is on there, and when I'm trying to add it, it says it's not found.
See, that's fine, we're all out here.
So I'll print it at home and bring it back.
No
for
problem.
you.
Very good.
Sorry.
Give me the-
But,
We wait.
no, go ahead.
Okay, old business, I do have one item that I have. We approved to purchase a blade for the large tractor to help pull some of that berm back on the road from John Deere, and we ordered that blade over this just past month, and we're hoping to hear that we'll have that here in soon so we can start using it. So from John Deere. You guys have any other old business to share, or
I have no old business. Roger, you?
I do.
Sandy?
I got, approval on the indigent burial
Ooh.
that I submitted, but I haven't gotten a check.
Huh.
Um,
They approved it, okay, that's great.
yeah, and then I did send out all the zoning letters.
This is
regarding-
OTA, right? OTA approved it, who approves it?
No,
Their-
it's
their
the
grants?
state.
Okay,
No, it's
state.
not state, yeah. They added it back in their budget line.
Okay,
But I still haven't gotten the money, but I did get an email saying we were approved,
that's fine.
so.
Very good job.
Yeah. That's
And
like-
then
$850, is that
Yeah.
correct?
$850. Yeah.
Very good job, Sandy.
I sent all the zoning letters regarding, public notice requirements. I don't know if you guys heard from me when I left a copy on Sean's desk, but I mailed them all out and I just gave Sean a copy, so we should be good there. That's
Thank
all I have.
Very good. Good information, Sandy, thank you. Any other old business? Okay, we're gonna move on to new business.
You got anything? I got a couple things,
Okay,
Matt,
Go for it.
if I jump in front of
no,
you.
please, I don't have,
Um,
I'll see if you have,
we've had a couple phone calls, and we have a drain tile issue down in Briarwood. They are not connected. One's on one outlet and another one's on another one. So two blowouts on two different outlets. So Bo Ward and myself went down and we met with the two individual families about, we're gonna have to be getting into their yard and no one likes having that done.
blowout is more or less, so people that don't know,
Just,
it's
yeah,
just a
There-
whole volcano comes up in their yard, right?
well,
Have you seen it?
yeah.
Yeah.
A tile gets a hole in it, it sucks in all the topsoil and pulls it down through the tile, so they're left with a major groundhog hole.
It does,
in
it looks
there.
major, yeah.
So we need to fix both of those on Briarwood, and we need to go ahead and fix one down on Ward Manor. That one's in the right of way. It's not actually in the yard, so that's not going to be a big effect. The main thing that we did, Bo and I both wanted to go down and get basically the blessings of these people that look to fix this and that we might have to get into your yard. And they were both fine with, they understand the process and knows that once we do it, it might take, 6 weeks for the pile to settle down a little bit before we can grade it out and reseed it. But that's not something we have to vote on as far as,
No.
so that's just repair. So, and then the last thing that I have is, we need to update our cemetery board in it, I guess the public announcement board in at Grandview. Matt's been waiting on getting this last information ready so we can have that printed. We need to update our prices. I mean, I've been talking to Colin Vernon, and our Saturday prices and our holiday prices are way underneath where they should be. There's prices that go 3 times more than what we're paying or what we're charging, excuse me. I don't think we have to be that critical about raising prices on this. But what we're looking at,
These are burial rates,
these
right?
are going to be, burial rates.
Okay, I just clarified
And-
this one.
Well, actually, it's going to be the opening and closing is what they're called, but it's opening the grave and closing the
Okay,
grave.
that's pretty much, yeah.
Okay, but it is open to burial. Currently, our Saturday prices are $9.50. I'm gonna give you I'll make a motion here. I'd like to give you guys an idea of what we're thinking. Again, I've been running this by and looking at other prices, but taking Saturday prices from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, the funeral has to be held between 9 and 12. That price will be $12.50 versus $9.50. After 1 o'clock, from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, that price is going to, increase to $1,500. So it's a 2-layered price there. Now it's only one price, and, you know, so we're basically waiting around all Saturday for, and we're paying Richard, you know, to sit here and because he's part of the closing on this. So we gotta recapture some of our expense on this. And that's where all this comes from. Sunday, we're going to go, I'm proposing that we go, you know, from 9 to 12 o'clock, it's gonna be $1,500 for the opening and closing. And from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock is going to be $1,750. They have got to have the closings finished by 4 o'clock. Colin says there's many cemeteries that don't even offer weekend burials. So he says, and we have that option. We don't have to bury people on the weekend if we choose not to. If people need that option, I would still like to be able to extend that to them. We just need to change the price. I'm gonna make a motion that we're going to keep our burial prices Monday through Friday at $650.
What are we paying Bo? Isn't that?
That's
good.
Bo is
That's a good
200,
question.
and Bo's probably going to need to increase his prices.
Okay.
So this is going to help be included in that.
Okay, I'm just.
And that, thank you for bringing that up, Sam, because I forgot about that. So we have to have some room. If Bo makes an adjustment, we need to have some room to be able to, you know, pay for that also. And this will be able to cover that. So Monday through Friday will be $650. Saturday, the opening and closing from 9 to 12 will be $1,250. From 1 to 4, and closings must be done by 4 o'clock, that's going to be $1,500. Sunday I'm proposing, and again, guys, we can argue about the amounts here in a minute, if it's too cheap or if you think it's too expensive. But Sunday, I'm moving that we take the prices on Sundays from 9 to 12 to $1,500, and Sundays also will include holidays. So it's Sunday and holidays, 9 to 12, $1,500. And it was $1,250, by the way, before. We're just raising up $250. And on Sundays and holidays from 1 to 4, $1,750 must be completed by 4 o'clock. So we're raising things basically $250. And that is to include the increase for excavation, and also the money it takes to have the overtime for Richard. We are out there as trustees, and as Sean is the superintendent, we do not get paid to be out there. We are out there. So this does not benefit us at all. I mean, it benefits the cemetery fund, and it pays for our expenses.
Wear and tear on our equipment.
And wear and tear on our equipment. So if you want to second it, and then we can argue about if you guys want to adjust the price.
No, I will second that motion.
Now you ask for discussion.
No, my question is that it's advantageous to do it Monday through Friday. Anybody that's more interested would save quite a bit of money.
And that's what Colin shared about the funeral home. He says it's additional money for Saturday and Sunday services. And he says, you know, it's hard to find people to work.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you said originally it was $1,250 or $950.
It was $950.
For Saturday.
And now, yep.
And you're proposing just $250 to $1,250.
So I'm sorry, that's actually a $300.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's
No, That's all right. I mean,
That's $300. Excuse me.
but then the
The
Sunday,
Sunday's $250. Yeah.
Sunday holidays was $1,250. What's it? Yeah. What's it currently?
Saturdays was $950, and I proposed to go to $1,250.
Sure.
That's from 9 to 12. 1 to 4, we're going to raise it to $1,500, so
Okay.
that will be an additional $250.
Okay.
Sundays and holidays was $1,250. We're bringing that to $1,500, and if you guys want to adjust that, and then the 1 to 4, we're adding $250 for $1,750.
I don't have a problem.
Sean did approve these prices too, by the way, so I mean, this was something that Sean came up with
Yeah.
also, so.
My time here, I haven't had a Sunday or holiday spent, which is fine. We've had some new Saturdays.
We've got a lot of
Recent.
Saturdays. Roger, how do you feel about prices?
I think it's fair, really, gotta have it.
It's not like we're grabbing them out of the air because we have Vernon
Yeah.
also proposing that. they
Colin
use-
said we were the cheapest ones around. So we're not out of line.
And they try to do the same thing.
They do, they're amazing.
They try to avoid those dates too, right? Just because of costs as well. So we're basically just aligning with their efforts as well. Okay, you guys want to take a vote on this?
I'm ready.
Okay. Let's see. Let me get back to my. Okay, all in favor of extending the prices on Saturday and Sunday, and leaving Monday through Friday as it is? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Sounds like the ayes have it, the motion is carried.
Matt, one thing I forgot to say, and it's not gonna affect that, we're gonna keep cremations the same price, which is, $325 and $425, and on Sundays, $750 for interment. Cause I basically go out and dig the hole,
Yeah,
and I do, I don't need any additional help, or we don't need Richard there, or we don't need any trucks or anything else like that.
you have a time constraint though?
No, I, that's my job, I'll go out and dig so we're leaving cremations alone. And then the foundation, we've already moved to $1, so we already
Okay, yeah,
voted that.
yeah. Last month, or 2 months, 2 or 3 months ago. it was.
Matt, that's all I had for new businesses.
Okay, good, thank you, Blair, appreciate that update. I do have one thing, sign information, we've had some signs, out in the township. Some of this has been a result of our sign checking, efforts. We do it every so many
What
months.
kind of signs, Matt?
And, the road signs.
signs, thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, road signs. We do have some, signs that are in our inventory to replace, like a stop ahead sign on North Dugan Road in between 36 and 29. There's an exhaust somehow got up against the sign and melted the face of it, so it looks pretty bad. So that's one we're going to replace with no additional cost. But we do have some that we want to update. It is a Deer Run over on in Tecumseh Woods. Sign's extremely faded, faces south, and you can't even make it out. And Boggles Run, it was the no outlet sign was removed by a car, just happened to want to do it.
Stop sign and
A stop sign and a no outlet, so we want to replace that name sign with basically the new features that they're doing, the city's doing, and is put the no outlet at the ends of the sign so we can eliminate a sign in the future, and also do it. It's I'll show you this pretty neat thing. It's kind of cool. And then Eddinger Road, we have a wavy sign. It's been damaged for years. Tried to flatten it out, and it's been hit again. So we're just going to replace the Eddinger Road sign more or less. So the cost on those all can be taken out of the general fund. It's pretty inexpensive. It's just the portion of the business that we do. It'll be around $350. It'll be a sign company that is been approved by the county engineers. They use them every day, so our signage will be consistent with their application as well. It does have to carry a township number on it, and so those numbers were looked up. I did get a really nice spreadsheet from the engineers as well, with all the numbers to our township roads. So if we need to have a quick reference, so it's pretty nice. Any other questions on that, fellas?
Good.
Sandy?
new business.
I submitted our final ARP funding report, my rating approval, so I can close it out. And that's all I have.
Very good, Sandy, thank you. Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the bill payments, allow Sandy to distribute and mail checks for approved payments.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it, so the motion is carried. Okay, are there any announcements from you guys at all? Sandy, any other
No.
new announcements? I do have to give you guys the update. What I have to do with it, dang on it, I just had it. our next meeting actually will be, May 19th, third Monday of the month, May 19th. I got a calendar out on the website, so you can look at all the dates at one time. It's under, I have to get extra. Yeah, you can find that out there. We finally got to, public comment, so public comment, we'd like to, obviously, we have one visitor, which is great, and I think his name's Buddy Ballard. And Buddy, appreciate you coming in tonight. We do want to ask you, Buddy, where did, we got your name, Buddy Ballard, but where's your address actually?
2005 Oakview Drive.
Okay, very good, thank you, sir.
I put it on there, didn't
Oh, I didn't look that close, but
I? Yeah, I think
did you? I much appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. I see county prosecutors and all them did do, but that's okay. 2005, I
Yes,
appreciate it.
2005 Oakview Drive.
Okay, you have 5 minutes to talk all you want. We're not gonna really cut back and
I don't have a
forth.
bunch to share with you. I did want to share with you that the activity that you guys did in the cul-de-sacs on both Oakview and Jedorah. I spoke with 3 residents, not including myself.
Okay,
Mr. Marshall over on Jedorah reached out to me and talked to me about it. Ms. Schaefer, Connie, up there on the corner. Both of them have adjoining properties to the activity that you did right in the cul-de-sac,
oh, okay.
as well as Betty Heim, who lives across from me, just down from the cul-de-sac. Everybody's tickled to death with what you guys are doing.
Oh, that's good. to hear.
Very happy. They were glad to see the tree out. They're glad to see that it's gonna create a situation where delivery trucks, Amazon drivers, Lowe's, I seen that you cleaned up the 1 yard there as well. Either you guys did or the county folks did that came out. There had been a 18-wheeler that came up there and couldn't make the turn to get back down, so had attempted numerous times, got off into that 1 yard. You guys saw how torn
Yeah,
up it
that
was.
was bad. Yeah.
Ended up backing all the way back down the street. I've been there at my residence for 29 years this July. And there's been numerous times that we've had 18-wheelers that have come up to drop shingles, materials for a house, whatever. And it turns into a mess, and the biggest reason is because the asphalt wasn't continuous all the way around the circle.
Wow.
It's very nice, and the neighbors seem to be very, very tickled to death with it.
It's a good thing to be said about it, so thank you, buddy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was always a dream of Blair's to push this, and I like the idea. You come up with that, just more efficient for everybody.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's funny because at least on my street where the tree was, I think I shared with you guys for years, there was a debate as to who actually owned it. Needless to say, neither one of them owned it.
But who mowed it
But
though? Who mowed it?
Well, for years Ron Schaefer mowed it. And then after Ron passed away, no one wanted to own up to mowing it, so I started mowing it.
Really?
And then, of course, that tree, as Blair can testify to, was all the way down at the ground. So it was hard to work around. It was hard. So I went through and cleared the bottom of that tree out. That's why it was up about 4
so you can
feet.
mow.
And then you guys came out and cleared it up even more, last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but initially that tree, until about probably 4 or 5 years ago, my wife would probably say more like 8, I can't remember exactly, but it was all the way down to the ground. And as I was mowing it, it just became more and more difficult. So I went ahead and took the bottom out of
Lifted
it. And then I know Blair came out and
Very good.
cleared up more. So, but it's always good that, the residents of that area, that's a true testament to what you guys are doing each and every day to make things, what I want to say, more user-friendly for the community, to make things better environment-wise for the residents that live within the township. So, and I got nothing but positive sentiment from the folks around me.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were hoping to hear.
Yep.
Positive feedback on something positive that we
Absolutely.
were wanting to do for quite a while. Very good. Anything else, Mr. Ballard?
Not off the top of my head.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I move we adjourn then.
Okay, it has been moved. Roger?
Second.
Moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned at 6:03.